Have you ever thought? The water seems to be everywhere. The sea is very wide, the river is very long. It rains every year. But why are there still people who have trouble getting clean drinking water? Well, in this video, we will discuss casually. Actually, what kind of water can humans drink? Let's start. First, of course, the most important, fresh water. Fresh water is water with low salt content. Usually comes from rivers, lakes, and springs. But don't get me wrong. Even though it looks clear, river water is not necessarily safe to drink immediately. There could be bacteria or germs that are not visible. Therefore, fresh water usually must filtered, boiled, or processed first. It's safe to drink. Second, there is mineral water. Mineral water comes from natural sources underground. When water flows through the rocks, it absorbs minerals such as calcium and magnesium. That's why mineral water sometimes feels different on the tongue. Some feel more fresh, or a little naturally sweet. Mineral water that is sold in bottles is usually taken directly from the source, and the quality is maintained. But still, make sure to buy from a trusted brand. Third, there is groundwater. Groundwater is water stored under the Earth's surface, usually taken from a well or pump. In many villages, groundwater is the main source of drinking water. Because it has been naturally filtered by soil and rocks, groundwater is often cleaner than river water. But it is still recommended to boil it first before drinking, so that it is safer. Fourth, rainwater. In theory, rainwater is quite pure when it comes down from the clouds. But when falling down, rainwater can be mixed with air pollution, dust, or dirt from the roof of the house. If you want to drink, rainwater must. Accommodated with a clean container. Filtered. Boiled. In some remote areas, rainwater even becomes the main source of drinking water. Now, an interesting question. If the sea is so wide, why don't we just drink seawater? The answer, because it's too salty. Seawater contains high salt. If drunk instead of quenching thirst, it makes the body more dehydrated. But now there is a technology called desalination. Desalination is the process of removing salt from seawater so that it becomes fresh water. Countries such as Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates use this technology a lot because their freshwater sources are limited. Although effective, this process is quite expensive and requires a lot of energy. Then, what about tap water? In some countries such as Japan and Switzerland, tap water can be drunk directly because it has been strictly processed. If, in Indonesia, most people still choose to boil tap water before drinking to ensure its safety. Now we look at an interesting fact. Of all the water on Earth, around 97% is seawater, only about 3% of fresh water. And from that 3%, most of it freezes at the poles and glaciers. It means the amount of fresh water that is really easy for us to access is very small. That's why clean water is so valuable. The human body itself consists of about 60% water. Water helps regulate body temperature, helps digestion, flowing nutrients, remove toxins. Without water, humans can only survive for a few days. So actually, water is not just a drink, but the main need for life. In conclusion, the types of water that humans can drink are clean and treated fresh water, natural mineral water, safe groundwater, processed rainwater, desalinated seawater, tap water that meets health standards. All of that still needs a process to be safe. From now on, maybe we can appreciate water more. Turn off the faucet when not in use. Use enough water. Don't waste water. Because something that seems simple is actually very valuable. We usually see that water every day. But without clean water, life will not run.